Hi, my name is Mobot, and I'm the host of The World of RPGs, a podcast about role playing games in different non English speaking countries and regions. And I recently started this YouTube channel to also upload the content there, and the podcast is audio only, but I will include a couple of videos here in which I showcase a couple of physical games I have and maybe give some extra comments. So for this one, this is for an older episode, and that's episode 9, Poland. And I have a special connection to Poland, and it's actually connected to the start of this podcast because I studied abroad in Poland and I wanted to learn Polish, which is a very difficult language. And so I got some role playing games there. And I tried to read them, but it was almost impossible because Neuroshima, one of the post apocalyptic games from Poland, was written in Polish slang. So I couldn't go through that. And I don't have these books anymore. I gave them away to a collector. I do have one game book from Poland, though, which has been translated into English. And I think it was the first Polish game ever translated into English. And it's called De Profundis by Michał Oracz, published by Hogshead in 2001. And there's a second edition, which you can get on drive-thru, which has some extra material. I would strongly suggest to get the second edition because the first one is really strange. It is basically a letter writing game in a Lovecraftian world, but it's also written in character. So I've read this game, I've tried to play it, but I gave up after 2 or 3 letters because the first edition doesn't really give you many methods on how to write in character letters. I mean, sure, you can just write a letter to someone and pretend you're a character, but how do you advance a story? How do you include conflicts? There's not that much material on that, but it's beautifully written. The second edition has more playing advice. And then during the pandemic, locked up at home, I did join a letter writing RPG. It was not De Profundis. De Profundis is a horror game in a Lovecraftian universe, and the book is quite scary because it's written in character. I wrote something. I wrote some other letters for a different scenario, but here are the letters I got from Sweden. I still have them in my collection, even though we stopped playing. And letter RPGs are not really for me. My problem with them is you can't really react to small cues. You have to wait for a couple of weeks for an answer, and then it's difficult to advance a story. You kind of have to communicate with the person out of character, maybe, to do that. And yeah, the second edition of De Profundis has some more material on that. So that's my one Polish game I still have. There are lots of games coming out from Poland. Another example of a translated one is Volsung. And in the Poland episode, I talked with the author of Volsung, for example, and other Polish authors, organizers, etc. It's a rather big episode with 2 parts. So Poland is one of the bigger role-playing scenes, and hop onto the podcast to find out more.